Hey there, friends. Welcome back to the show. This is Velma Knowles from Leaders Pathway, the place where leaders go to grow. I'm so glad you're here with me today on this journey of growth. Now, if you've been following along, you know we're already covered some heavy hitters like self-awareness, self-acceptance, and just recently on our last episode, we talked about self-commitment. So, if you've missed any of those episodes, please be sure to catch up because you are not going to want to miss a single step as we continue this growth journey together. For today, my friend, today, we're talking about how you can start growing stronger and more strategic in your leadership. And I'm telling you, this is the stage. This is the stage on your leadership growth where leaders are made. Welcome to stage 4 of your growth journey, self-development. Now, let me start with a confession here. Early in my career, I remember there was a time, for a while there, I stopped growing. I mean, not physically. I was still, growing taller, as tall as I could be, but I was still getting up. I was leading teams. I was checking things off the list and showing up in meetings. In fact, life looked pretty good on the outside, but on the inside, it was like I had put myself on cruise control, comfortable in that comfort zone, capable, but not stretching anymore. And I didn't even realize it at the time. Now, has that ever happened to you? Maybe you feel that way right now. I think a lot of leaders end up here, somewhere between doing fine and losing time. This is what it looked like for me. I was getting asked to speak. I was in a strong leadership role. People sought me out for advice. So from the outside, everything said, yep, this person's got it figured out. But something felt off to me. Something didn't sit right inside of me. And the worst part was I couldn't put my finger on it. Then one day, I heard this statement in a training workshop, and it stopped me in my tracks. The facilitator said this. He said, leaders are like trees. If you stop growing roots, you won't stand strong when the storms come. You may look healthy, but eventually you'll break. Wow. That hit me like a 2x4 across my head. Did I have a headache after that? Because I had been focused on managing my branches. You know what I mean, like the tasks, the projects, the goals, the calendars. But I wasn't tending to my roots. I wasn't growing deeper. I wasn't stretching myself intentionally. And that moment in that training session, it changed how I thought about leadership. So that's what I want to walk you through in this episode. The shift from being in leadership to being a leader who is strong enough to lead. From doing leadership, my friend, to becoming a leader who keeps growing. It's so sad, actually, because most people assume that once you become a leader, the growth part is optional. It's all my team members that need training. They need coaching. Not me, I'm the leader. I thought that way before, but I was wrong. See, most people in leadership think leadership is the finish line, the reward, the final stop on personal development train. But that mindset is actually what's keeping good leaders stuck. Is that keeping you stuck? Growth doesn't stop when you become a leader, my friend. It starts a whole new level of how you lead. Why does that happen? Well, because the higher you go in an organization, the higher you go in your career, the less feedback you will get. And the more you succeed, the more people will assume you don't need any help. And the more responsibilities you carry, the easier it is to just manage instead of grow. And here's what I've learned the hard way. I stopped seeing growth as something you do to get promoted, and started seeing growth as something you do because you are called to lead. That's a whole different posture. And it's not about perfection. It's not about being the best leader. It's about being intentional in your growth. It's about being a better leader every day. You can't lead others if you yourself has stopped leading yourself. And leading yourself means you have to stretch yourself. You have to stay curious. You have to learn new things. You have to do the hard work and the quiet work of working on you behind the scenes when no one will celebrate, but everyone will benefit from. Just like trees have branches that grow wider and stronger over time, your leadership development, it needs to be strategic. And here's the untold truth. The stronger your roots, the taller and more influential your branches become. And those branches stretch. And when they do, so does your influence, your impact, and your income. You're no longer just getting by. You're thriving, stretching beyond what you thought was possible. Your leadership capacity is growing. And when you grow, so does your team, your organization, and your life. And here's the thing about self-development. It's never a one and done deal. It's about making intentional, continuous improvements. And think about it. A tree doesn't just suddenly sprout leaves and branches overnight. It takes time. It takes nurturing, and it takes pushing through the storms. For you and for me, this means that we have to grow with purpose and focus. Trees grow with a purpose. Weeds grow too, but they don't have no focus and no purpose. When you are intentional with your growth, you're no longer just putting in the work to get by. You're putting in the work to thrive. And that's exactly what this stage of growth is all about. Self-development is about you becoming the leader that you're meant to be. And here's where it gets juicy. Think about the branches of your leadership. They're growing outwards, stretching for that next level. And the key is that growth without strategy is just random growth. I mean, remember, even the weeds grow, and you, my friend, is no weed. You want to grow with purpose, focus, and direction. So when you want to grow your leadership in the way that brings real impact and influence, you've got to be strategic. You need to be intentional about what are the skills, what are the relationships and experiences that you're developing right now, and how are they positioning you for the next level of leadership? Well, let's talk about your career path right now. You started at a position, and then you moved into a promotion, and now self-development is the thing that's going to help you reach your true potential. So from position to promotion to true potential. Your leadership is where you go from good to great, but only if you commit to developing it with intention and focus. So how does all this self-development stuff tie into your growth? Well, here's how. The first stage is all about promotion. You're doing the job, you're showing up, you're working hard. But at the next level, you need promotion. And this is where your self-development comes in. When you develop your leadership strategically, you're not just getting promoted in title, you're increasing your impact and your influence and your income. This is where true potential starts to unfold. There is so much more for you and for how you will lead. Just like tree branches stretch for more, you'll find that the more you develop yourself, the more opportunities will open up in your career and life. Well, let's get down to some practical steps that you could take right now at stage 4 of your personal leadership growth journey. Here are 3 powerful ways you can start developing yourself as a leader today. Number 1 is identify your next level skill. What's one skill you need to master right now that will take you to your next level of leadership? Is that emotional intelligence? Maybe delegation? How about communication? Choose just one skill to focus on and go all in on improving that one skill, because that will take you to the next level in your leadership. Number 2, create a personal growth plan. Now, I know you have a personal performance plan. We all have that when we work for a company, but you need to have a personal growth plan too. Be intentional about your growth. Don't just let growth happen to you. Make it happen for you. Set some clear goals for your self-development and make sure those goals, they align with where you want to go in your career and in your life. And number 3, find a mentor or a coach that's a great fit for you. You don't have to do this alone. In fact, You should not do this alone. Find someone who's been where you want to go and ask for their guidance. There's an old African proverb that says, never buy clothes from a naked man. Getting a coach or a mentor who is where you want to be will help you grow strategically, and they'll give you the direction that you need to keep moving forward faster. And you know this to be true. Wise leaders find someone who's already been where they want to go, and they ask for directions. You need to get a guide so you don't get lost on your journey. Well, all right, friends, we've covered a lot today. But here's what I know, and I want you to know this too. Self-development is the stage where you start to grow into the leader you were always meant to be. It's where you start growing stronger and more strategic in your influence and impact. You've got the roots. Now it's time to let those branches grow wide, strong, and tall. You don't need permission to grow. You don't need a new job to grow. And you don't need to have it all figured out to grow. You just need a plan for your growth. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. Because your leadership, my leadership, it's a continuous journey of growth. I want to thank you for joining me today, and be sure to come back next week and join me right here, same time, same growth channel, because next time we're stepping into the part of the journey most leaders don't even realize they're missing. Trust me, you'll want to see what's next. If you enjoyed this episode, do me a quick favor. Share it with friends or colleagues who could use some encouragement. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. Remember, you've got this, and God bless.